Hello and welcome everyone to this another video in the series of Unlearning the Falsehoods, where we will demystify and verify and cross check all the things that were taught to us in the name of history, in the name of culture, in the name of science when we were in school. When I say we, I include all the generations starting from the millennials in the way forward, such as Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, all those alphabets. And yeah, so in this series of Unlearning the Falsehoods, we are demystifying some of the claims, some of the fiction that was taught to us in the name of history by the liberal scholars. All right. So far we have established that the Christian colonizer was motivated by the fact of making a nation state out of all the lands that he colonizes. Okay, but the only problem over here is his definition of nation state was informed and motivated by the ideas that were inherently Christian. Okay, so far in this series I have been making this case that Bharat is not a nation state, it is a civilization state. All right, so what exactly does it mean when I say civilizational state? All right, so, based on what we have been taught in school in the name of civics and in the name of polity usually has two models of democracy. One is either you are a nation state or you are a dictatorship. All right. Now, nation state is based on the theories of having a homogeneous society where each and every individual, it's a single framework of law for each and every individual. It assumes that too much diversity is not good. You're only supposed to worship a single god. You're only supposed to worship in a way that we tell you. So everything is aligned. The entire society is homogenized. Now, an opposite to nation state in the understanding and in the minds of those colonizers is dictatorship. Anything other than nation state is obviously a dictatorship, which is partially untrue. I would say the other side of nation state is a civilizational state. When I say civilizational state, I mean a geography, okay, where each and every individual, it seems that they are different. It seems that it is not a homogeneous society. But if you look closely to at the core, there is some degree of homogeneity in the societies, in the communities of a geography that is very diverse. Let's take Bharat for example. Okay, we say that there is so much of diversity. A southerner is different from a northerner, and both of these are different from somebody from the northeast. Okay, that's not really true. If you see, our worship is broadly based on Trinity. Okay, you will either worship some incarnation of Vishnu or the destroyer or the preserver, that is Brahma. Okay, so this is just a trinity, and beneath that trinity you might be worshipping some or the other form of that trinity. So it's not we are widely heterogeneous, we are indeed a homogeneous society. It's just that it is trifurcated. Okay, now the nation state theory has a dark legacy of European nationalism. Okay, now I don't need to tell you guys this. You might have, if you really still believe in the strength of this civilization, and if you stand up and speak for it, you might have been accused of being a nationalist. All right, and being a nationalist is a bad thing according to the Western mind. You know why? Because they themselves have evolved this definition of nationalism, that whenever you before starting on this journey of colonization, we have discussed this in the previous videos, that they had this enlightenment and some reformation within the Christianity that bolstered them, that motivated them to conquer new lands, to spread their faith. And in that process they have done heinous things. They've done things that we don't talk about enough. They've done things that history textbooks don't mention them enough. Why? Because you need to be secular. Okay, so yeah, so they are informed by this idea that if some country has a nationalistic population, they will go out and they will try conquering new lands, they will kill people in the name of religion and whatnot. This is their version of nationalism. And that version is foisted upon us. Why? Because we are functioning under a European worldview. We are only supposed to see things the way Europe sees things. Otherwise you will be nationalist, otherwise you will be labeled as somebody who is, jingoistic and whatnot. You know all the labels out there. Okay, now here is where in the previous video I spoke about Marxism. Okay, the theories of Karl Marx and communistic theories, they provide some sort of a justification for westernization of the colonies, and it still is. What it did was, there is this very famous quote by Joseph Stalin, the dictator of Soviet Russia, wherein he says, "Any idea is worth 1,000 pages of history." Okay, so they were really good with literaturizing things. They were really good with writers. If you and I really believe in where giving credit where credit is due. If you read the communist authors, you will see that they have certain flair of writing that is very attractive. You would really want to keep on reading those communistic authors. Okay, so building upon this skill and building upon this natural skill, the flair of writing that the communists had, they produced copious amounts of literature, be it history, be it drama, be it fiction and whatnot. Okay, due to this skill, building upon this skill and capitalizing on this skill, they managed to monopolize the realms of education, the realms of journalism, culture, and policy making. Okay, because they had this flair. Okay, so from 1947 onwards, when there was power, when there was transfer of power from the British to us. Okay, so during that time, the communist literature, the Marxist literature was very much famous. Okay, so they managed to monopolize education, they managed to monopolize policy making, and it continues to this very day, even after the change of ideology of the dispensation. All right, so we have all grown up consuming this malicious literature of Marxism, that is some sort of a providing intellectual cover fire and intellectual cushion to this idea of colonization, because what it does is it will distract you from the real purpose of colonization and feed you lies, such as they came over here for the purpose of spices and they came over here just to admire the nature and beauty and whatnot. Okay, now after this, okay, so Marxist people, they have cultivated this habit. Okay, since 47 onwards, they have cultivated this habit into the people that, they will readily accept the ideas of resurrection from dead, the ideas of a certain prophet traveling on a flying horse. They will readily accept these ideas, but when it comes to our Vedic scriptures and our literature, Vedic literature, they will start scrutinizing it based on scientific approach. Okay, but we never question the resurrection of the dead from scientific approach. Why? Because it is believed, and we have already covered this in the previous videos, that science is the monopoly of only the West. So you cannot question their principles because they are inherently scientific. I know, right? What a joke. So this means the Marxist literature has made this very popular among the successive generations after 1947, that all the primary sources that geographies as old as Bharat has, and this is the case with all the colonies. I'm not just making case for Bharat. If you read the history of all the colonial countries, this is what the Marxist literature has done. Okay, they will undermine all your primary sources. For us, the primary sources were the Vedic literature, the Vedas and the Upanishads and all that Vedic literature, but they will undermine them as primary sources. Okay, look at it this way. All right, if we calculate, for how many years did the Islamic plunderers rule over this geography? Close to 600 years. Okay, and let's say for 200 years it was the British who plundered this land, so close to 800 years. So how long do you think, or how far back in past does the history of Bharat go? Okay, it's more than 2000 years. So in the 2000 years of lived history, we have only been under the occupation of a foreigner for more than or close to 800 years. Okay, it's not very big. the way it is being propagated in media that we have been a conquered civilization. We have been a conquered civilization for almost like one third of our lived history. The rest two thirds has been a gloriful period. All right, but more about that in the upcoming videos. We are not here to hark back on the past. We are here to talk about the future and how shall the future of Bharat look like. Okay. Now, the next most important thing that the Marxists have exploited, and I'm not just Marxist, I'm not going to single them out. The entire liberal lobby has pulled up this argument against us that what is something that unites us? We are so diverse in our culture that there is nothing that unites us. I would say because this very idea comes from the monotheistic traditions that since this entire country is Christian, so that is something that unites them. Since this entire country is Islamic, this is what unites them. What exactly does unite Bharat? Because we are extremely diverse in the way our actions, our methods of worship is something that unites us. Okay, let me give you an example. Be it a Vaishnava, okay, be it the Lingayat, be it the Shaivas, okay, everyone offers their ablutions to the Shivling in the similar way. Everyone offers their worship, everyone offers their ablutions in a very similar way, be it in the south, be it in the north. Okay, so this is something that has been practiced since centuries. Okay, so that is something that unites us. Secondly, something that unites us is somebody will say that, oh, your festivals are very different. Okay, so is that a coincidence that a bunch of festivals fall on the same day? Okay, Bihu in Assam, Gudi Padwa in Maharashtra. There are some festivals in the southern part of this country that I forget right now, but forgive me for that. I forget right now. But all these festivals, they just somehow fall on the same day. Isn't something that unites us? And all these festivals have their root, okay, not in the modern sense. These festivals have been celebrated long before these prophets and messengers were born. So I will not say further on these things, otherwise it will become politically controversial. But make of it what you may. It is what it is. Next is this concept of motherland. Okay, for a Westerner, for a colonizer, the land on which they are, okay, they have appropriated it, or rather misappropriated it through methods of conquest. Whereas in a civilization state like us, okay, we have taken birth on this motherland and we think that this land is worthy of worship. Why? Simply because we were born on this land. We have not conquered this land. All right, all this theories, all these dreamy theories about Aryan migration is all bullshit. It has been manufactured to make us believe that we are a defeated race. All right, there is no degree of truth. There are many scientists. It is just I'm not saying that it is me who have disapproved this. They are giants. Okay, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants and saying this, that Aryan migration theory is utterly fiction, utterly myth, and many of the scientists have disapproved this theory. It's just not me. Okay, yes, so the Westerner, according to their theory of nationalization or nationalism, okay, for them land is viewed, okay, land is viewed through a lens of utility, meaning I will be sentimentally connected to this land only when it offers me some materialistic advantage in return. We don't see that. For us, the Thar desert is as much venerable as the fertile tracts of Punjab and Haryana, or the western and the eastern Ghats for that matter. Okay, so we don't look at a piece of land and look at it as the way of look at it through a lens of utility, and hence we see this, that it is a geography that is venerable to us. Okay, So just to corroborate this fact, there was this institution of pilgrimage, okay, long before these messengers of God were born. The institution of pilgrimage, some of them are the Amarnath Yatra and many other smaller pilgrimages, local, regional pilgrimages that go on. Okay, this stands testimony to the fact that indeed this land is indeed this geography is holy to us. We don't come from the concept of the idea of nationalism in a civilizational state does not follow from the principle of utility. What can this piece of land do to us? Regardless of whether that piece of land can do anything for us or not, it is venerable to us. Okay, and then that's about it for this video. Further exploration of this idea of nation state and civilization in the upcoming video in this series of Unlearning the Past. Thanks for watching.